Hi everyone! Kamusta mga kabayan? Welcome to our channel. It's me again, your Pinoy girl here in New Zealand and aka Girl Chasing Sunshine. I make videos about my life here in New Zealand as a Filipino immigrant who started with just a working holiday visa. So if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in videos about migrating and working here in New Zealand. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Girl Chasing Sunshine. For my subscribers, you might have noticed that I've been missing in action for quite a few weeks now. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to make any videos recently because life just happened. But I'll save our kamustahan for another video because for this episode, I would like to talk about the latest updates regarding the New Zealand border. Is it opening soon? Are you able to come here? Who can and cannot travel to New Zealand right now? So I've got both good news and bad news, and towards the end of this video, I will share with you what these announcements mean, my thoughts, as well as some predictions. So all of that are in this video, so keep on watching. The good news is that last week, the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern confirmed that starting April 19, 2021, the New Zealand border is finally open to anyone who's traveling or coming from Australia.
I can confirm that quarantine-free travel between New Zealand and Australia will commence in just under 2 weeks' time, from 11:59 p.m. Sunday, April 18. This is an important step forward in our COVID response and represents an arrangement I do not believe we have seen in any other part of the world, that is safely opening up international travel to another country while continuing to pursue a strategy of elimination and a commitment to keeping the virus out.
So yes, the much-awaited Trans-Tasman Travel Bubble is finally happening. This means that quarantine-free travel between New Zealand and Australia is now possible. We don't need to go into managed isolation, pay for fees to get into quarantine. Of course, there are some criteria to be able to travel in the so-called quarantine-free flights, and you can read more about that in the New Zealand COVID-19 website. The system will work on a state-by-state basis using a traffic light system, which again, you can read more about on the website, or I'll put a screenshot here so you can read more about it. Ayan. It's a case of flyer beware, so meaning those who are going across the ditch must be prepared in case there is a resurgence or an outbreak of COVID while they are traveling. So get ready with your insurance, have a backup plan, and sort out all the things that you need to sort out before you fly. But overall, this is a major announcement and a giant step forward for anywhere in the world right now. As a background, some states in Australia have already been open for New Zealanders since I think October last year. So New Zealanders are able to go to Australia without having to go into quarantine. A lot of people have been hoping and speculating when New Zealand will open its borders to its neighbor, and there were questions about why it took so long for the New Zealand government to finally come up with this decision. The Prime Minister said there was a delay in confirming this decision because they wanted to get the travel bubble right and to ensure that health and safety risks, however low they are managed well in case they emerge again. So I guess it took a lot of discussions between the two nations. Many people are really celebrating this news for a number of reasons. It's a step to some kind of normality for both New Zealand and Australia. Many families and friends will have a chance to be reunited again. and significant parts of the economy will experience a boost, especially the struggling tourism and hospitality industry. Another thing is it also frees up some spaces in New Zealand's managed isolation facilities, which can now be used for other purposes. This is a really great news because this is the first step towards New Zealand slowly and finally opening up to the rest of the world. On the flip side, the government also announced that all travelers coming from India will be blocked from entering New Zealand for a period of 2 weeks from April 11 to April 28. So this ban covers all people coming from India, including New Zealand citizens and residents. The reason for this is because we are seeing a lot of new cases in New Zealand's managed isolation facilities, which are coming from travelers from India. And we all know, I think you might have watched or read in the news that India is experiencing a massive spike and resurgence in COVID cases right now. The New Zealand government believes that people are catching COVID in India on their way to the airport, so these are not being picked up during pre-departure testing. By putting this ban, which they say is only temporary, they're hoping to reduce the number of cases in the managed isolation facilities and thus also reducing the risk of these cases being leaked to the community. So those are the two latest news regarding the New Zealand border. As you can see, these are extremes of both ends. New Zealand is opening to one country, but at the same time, it's also closing up to another country. So, what can we learn from this? First, it's that we are not stuck in this situation forever. I've been repeating this over and over again in all our past videos. We will not be in this situation forever. Eventually, once everything is managed and okay, eventually the borders will be open again, visas will be processed again. We will move on from this, God willing, especially now that vaccines are being deployed already, diba? Second, the country or countries with the most efficient COVID-19 response management will come out of this the strongest. I know that different countries have different strategies and approaches to managing this pandemic, and the travel bubble between New Zealand and Australia shows that if this situation is managed well, then we can be one step closer to normality. But on the other hand, the ban on India shows us that if this thing is not managed well, then you are 10 steps back from coming out of this crisis. I guess what I'm trying to say here is if you want New Zealand or Australia or any other country at that to open its borders for your own country and for our own country, then you have to have discipline, follow the rules and regulations, and if you have access to any vaccines right now, take it, protect yourself and your families, and most importantly, take a good hard look at what your government is doing. Demand action, demand proper response, and demand accountability from government officials. New Zealand and Australia got to this point because in one way or another, the government had an effective and efficient COVID-19 response at the onset of the pandemic. I'm not saying they're perfect, they are not. There are still some gaps and opportunities, but right now, they are in this position that they are able to open their borders to one another.
This is an exciting day. The Trans-Tasman Bubble represents the start of a new chapter in our COVID response and recovery, one that people have worked so hard for, and that makes New Zealand and Australia relatively unique.
Wouldn't you want and hope the same for your country? Another travel bubble is about to pop very soon, and that is the travel bubble between New Zealand and the island nation of Cook Island. So a lot of people are also waiting for this. announcement. Recently, the Cook Islands said that they are ready to welcome visitors from New Zealand by May. So everyone is just waiting and excited for that. With regard to the rest of the world, the predictions are that New Zealand won't be opening up its borders to the rest of the world until early next year. Now I know that's a bit of a bad news, but what I wanted to say to you is that while waiting for the borders to open up, you can take action. You can do things. Just watch this video where I shared some tips and advice on what you need to do while waiting for the borders to open up again. That's it for our video today. I know it's a bit of a difficult and touchy subject. Actually, even before recording, I was really contemplating on whether I should make this video or not. But I just really wanted to share the news with you regarding New Zealand's borders, that it's finally opening up. It gives us hope that someday the rest of the world will be open too. It gives us hope that we won't be stuck in this situation forever. So kabayan, hold on tight, hang in there, keep safe. I hope you and your families are doing okay despite the situation. Just continue to take care of yourselves and don't ever lose that hope that someday, hopefully soon, things will be better again. I'll see you again in my next video. If you're interested to know more about how to migrate, how to live and how to work here in New Zealand, I've got a lot of videos in this channel that can help you with that. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share this video.